clicking on it. And then you can click on these, and highlighting, they will turn red. Okay. Now another thing you can do here is if you have to select all of them, what you do is select one, and you can create like a box, just like you would do for cropping an image, a picture. And when you create that, it highlights all of them, and you can see them right up here. So part of your exercise was to just go through. I used the space bar to deselect them all. Now I want to go into the edges, work mode up here, and I want to select all the edges. Now of course you could use the box, but what I wanted to show you was I want to rotate this to try to get the back edges. So I'm going to hold down my Alt key. I'm going to hold down the left mouse, and I'm just going to kind of move that around. Do you see how this is changing? Can you see the change here? Yes? So therefore you can turn it like this and select them all. And then I want to hit A for align and back to Z, and everything is straight back up again. So when you have this here, if it's clear, if you see that green appearing, that means it can be selected. If I come back through and you see it yellow, then that means that it's already selected and you can deselect it. Okay, so basically then you just go through all of them, and you see here all of the faces are selected. I'm going to realign it and then deselect using here my space bar, and then this is your final work mode, and this is your object. And as you can see, the entire thing is highlighted. Okay, so that's that part. Now I want to go and I want to create a cube with specific dimensions. I've got to clear this off. Now, the space bar isn't going to do that. You can do it two ways. You can right-click on your screen, go down to delete, and it disappears, or just press the delete key and it's gone. Okay. So the next thing now is I'm going to create my cube with specific dimensions. I'm right-clicking again. Here's the cube, but I want specific dimensions, so I'm going to select that little box right there. And when that enters here, now I want to type in 0.4, 0.01, and 0.4. And I'm going to press OK. And it's real small here, so I have to zoom in. Do you see what I'm doing? I'm zooming in with my mouse here. With the wheel of my mouse, I'm zooming in. And now what you will see as I hold this down and tilt it up, there is your floor piece. So there's a floor piece that you can see that you have created here. Okay? So I want to get rid of it. I will highlight it and I will select delete, and it is gone. And those were the two. Now I'm going to run through these practice assignments just real quick with you so that therefore you know what you're doing and you have some idea of things, and this will be what you can work with throughout the week. Okay, the first thing you want to do is you want to create a cube in default. You're going to bring it in. I've got to bring it back out because I had zoomed in. And just so that you know what the default measurements of a cube are, what I wanted you to do is select the edges mode here. And this would be the X. Select the X. Now, by looking up here, I have one of the edges selected. It will give me the length. It's 2.0 meters. And if you look at the measurements here in the brackets, the first measurement is your X measurement. The second one will be your Y, and then the third one will be your Z. So looking at this here, if I selected this edge here, it's telling me that it's 2.0. So I'm going to deselect it using the space bar. Now I want to measure what is the Y. What is the height of this cube? Once again, you can see that the length is 2. And now you can see where the position has changed to the center one. That is indicating your Y. In order to get deselect, in order to get to the Z, which is the axis that is extending out towards you, I have to turn it. Remember, holding down the Alt key and the left mouse, I'm turning it here so that I can get a better view and grab this one. So this is your right here. You can see the axis, the Z axis coming out. It's aligned with it. It's also 2. So, and I see it here displayed in the Z up here in the top left corner. So basically now I know that my default for the measurements for a default cube are 2 by 2 by 2. Okay? So I want to bring that back into alignment. So I'm going to align it, and it's facing forward. Okay, something's happening and the universe will restart in 10 minutes, folks. Okay, we're going to get booted out of AW soon. Okay, so that is what the first part of your practice assignment consisted of, just creating a cube, highlighting the edges, and taking the measurements. So now I'm going to remove this here. And I want to start now on creating a cube with specific measurements, and that will be just like the floor piece that you just created here. And here we go. So I'm going to create a cube, and my measurements are 0.4, 0.4, and 0.02. And I'm going to either hit Enter or OK, and there we have the little wall here. Okay, the first thing I want to do is bring it up to ground level. So what I can do is I'm going to highlight this here, and I'm showing you how to do it in both ways. You can go to the tools, remember I told you about that, and select Put on Ground. And there it sits. It's already up there, as you can see, sitting on the x-axis. Now, I'm going to go and I want to redo that here. Now also I can do absolute commands. This is what I was telling you about. Everything always doesn't sit on that x-axis. So I'm going to select absolute commands, move because I want to bring it up. And then the one I'm trying to bring it up is the y-axis, so I'm going to change this now to 0.2. And there it is. And the reason I selected the 0.2 is you have to remember that when I created this, my original measurement for the y edge height was 0.4. So when it set there and it came into the window, it was halfway through the object. So bringing it up 0.2 brought it to ground level. Okay, so that is the second part of your practice assignment. I'm going to delete this here. Now, the next thing I wanted to do was to create a sphere. And I believe I'm just doing it in default settings. So I'm going to right click and select sphere here. And whoa, there it is. There's it is. So you can see now this is your sphere. And this is just for you to practice using some of the hotkeys. I'm going to put it in edges mode up here. I'm selecting it. And I'm going to select just one of the center edges right in here. Now, if I want to highlight to work with on all similar edges, what I will do is I will select the I key, and if you notice now, all of them lit up all the way around. You can see that red line going around. I have highlighted all of them. All similar edges have been highlighted. And I'm going to bring it back into view. Now watch what happens. I'm now pressing the plus key. This is another one of your hotkeys. And when I do, it starts expanding and including the adjoining edges. I'm going to press plus again. You see it? It keeps increasing. I'm selecting more and more. Now, if you go and use the minus key, it just deselects them and it goes back to its original, and finally nothing. And that's all you're doing. It's just a method of practicing using these keys. Another hotkey is the U key. So looking at my screen, I'm going to press the U key, and if you notice now, my object starts rotating. So say I've done something to transform it, and I want to make sure that that took place all the way around, and I don't want to mess with the Alt and the left mouse. I want it to see a image or a view of it, of the model itself. I can press the U, and to stop it, just left click with the mouse, it stops. But now it's all whacked up as far as its alignment, so I'm going to press A and then the Z key, and what does it do? It changes right here and aligns it back where I have a front view, and the way you can tell is with that X to the right of it. So finally, that is basically, I think I went through everything, and so I don't want to work with this any further. I'm going to highlight it, turning it all red with my left mouse, and I'm going to delete it. And so all I wanted you to do during the week is to practice with these assignments, making the regular cube, the default cube, and bringing it in, creating a cube with specific dimensions using the absolute commands. And then I also wanted you to bring in the sphere and just practice with those hotkeys. Keep aligning things. Keep bringing it to front view. And the more you do this, then it's just going to become second nature when you start modeling and you're actually starting to move verts and cut things and so forth. Then it will just make sense to you. Are there any questions? Any questions? Wait, I have something happening. I have group video, can't find out. No. Okay. Hey, NCAR showed up. I don't know how that happened. Okay. Are there... Hello? Okay, are there...
Hi. Sorry.
No problem. Are there any questions? Let me check AW and see if there is anything. Okay. So if there aren't any questions, that ends it for today. The other thing I did want to mention to you, Lord Fett is back in town. He finally got internet. So all of the images for Lesson 2 will be uploaded in time for you to go over. And I will be emailing out the lessons to you. And yes, you will have a practice assignment for that. So, you know, for now, just work on your practice assignment 1. I'll get all those slides up on the website, and I'll email you all of the information, the lesson plan, as well as your practice assignments, and you can start looking all of that over before next time. You know, if you don't have any questions, class is over with. How about that?